Alright, saw this guy at the Toys R Us. Couldn't help myself, so I bought him, and also Master Chief. So here it is, Spartan Locke, and there's the packaging. This is by Mattel, and a picture of Locke right there. And then removable armor, other figures are available, and the Build-A-Figure. So let's get them out of packaging. Alright, and here we have Spartan Locke outside of packaging. And let's go over the accessories first. We have the Build-A-Figure piece. That's the body of the crawler. And then it comes with 2 weapons. Butt plate, a thigh piece, shin guard, the back leg piece, shoe, forearm piece, bicep piece. And the rest of them are already on him. See, one side he has armor on and one side not. That's what it looks like straight out of the box. Alright, and here's Spartan Locke holding his weapon with both hands. Now this is a little of a stretch. Here you can see he's not gripping the pistol grip perfectly. You can see there's a huge gap there for him to hold on to it. The bicep piece does get in the way a little bit. The armor piece does get in the way. And yeah, it does hinder articulation a little bit. But for the most part, you can get him to hold his weapons with both hands, which is kind of cool. And when I saw this straight out of the box, he looks fine. The armor pieces does fit him pretty well. These thigh pieces, they don't look that bulky. It is a little bit bulky, but not that bad. And the rest of them looks fine. I noticed that straight out of the box, there's already a stretch mark on this piece of plastic right here on the edge right there. You can see it's right there. It's also on the other side as well. Straight out of the box. I guess it was kind of tight when it was packaged in there. So here's the back side of Locke. And the chest armor piece is a lot softer than the rest of the armor pieces. The rest of them are soft, but the chest one feels a lot rubbery than the rest of them. And, it's got good sculpt. Paint job on it, it's not bad. Here you can see, pretty nice. Weapon's nice. Let's see if we could hold the other one properly. And this one is even harder for the stock section to tug underneath the armpit, and then for this to swing all the way over, it's pretty much impossible. So for the most part, with him holding this, it's a lot easier than holding this one. And as far as articulation, head movement is very, very limited. He's constantly looking down a little bit instead of looking straight or up, because it is hindered by something. I think it's the way they sculpted the neck piece where the peg goes in. It's a little too deep, so he can't really look up at all. And then shoulders, they're on a ball hinge. Let me take the all the armor pieces off so it'll be easier for you guys to see. And again, shoulders are on ball hinge. Bicep, there's a swivel joint. And then double jointed elbows, and it is limited. You could only get them to do about 90 degrees, and that's about it. Ball hinge wrists. And then chest, there's a ball joint, and hips are also on a ball joint. Here you can see. And thighs are on a swivel. Double jointed knees, but articulation does hindered. The rotation does hindered by the armor pieces. And here you can see that's about how far I could bend. And now that's not in, that it's with the thigh piece taken off. So with the thigh piece, and he could also bend 90 degrees with the armor thigh piece on. And then ankles are on a hinge, and there's a pivot for the toes, for the foot. Alright, so it looks like the bicep piece was attached on improperly. So I flipped them around, and even with them on the right side, he still holds his weapon barely. Here you can see he's barely gripping the pistol grip, and but yeah, overall it's still an okay figure. And here's a comparison with a Black Series figure, and he stands about 6 inches, I believe. Yeah, 6 inches in height. Same with, definitely in scale with the Black Series or the Marvel Legends. So, and at the end of the day, is this worth getting? I say, again, I am still on the fence whether it's a solid figure or just a average figure. Well, I want to say it's an average figure. It's definitely not solid figure. Wish the hands were a little bit stronger because they are kind of rubbery, so it does make it pretty hard for him to hold the weapon properly. And overall, it's yeah, it's an average figure from Mattel, and he's gonna set you back about 20 bucks. So there you go. There's a Spartan Locke from Mattel. Thanks for watching. And here's a comparison between Locke versus Locke, and one is by McFarlane Toys, and the other one is by Mattel. And the McFarlane one does have a little more detailing, and it looks to be cleaner than the Mattel one. And body proportion wise is a little nicer because they aren't removable pieces like the thigh pieces. These armor pieces, they do look a little nicer on the McFarlane because it's sculpted and they aren't removable, so they don't need to be extremely bulky. So yeah, and paint job is definitely, they're definitely a bit more on the McFarlane than on the Mattel. You can see all the armor pieces are just the plastic color, while the McFarlane one actually painted some of the detailing on there. So there you go. He is a lot shorter. The McFarlane one is a lot shorter than the Mattel. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Alright, so I made a little mod. Got my Spartan to look up now. Here you can see he's looking up. And basically the trick I did was carved a little piece off the back of his neck. So now when he's looking down, you can see a little hole right here, but he can now definitely look up. And here's what it looks like. Just a little piece off. Use an X-Acto knife. First I heat up the plastic with a hair dryer a little bit, so it's a little easier to carve with. And then use an X-Acto knife, carve that little section. Make sure it's the width of the ball jointed the shaft section. Make sure it's as wide as that, so the peg can actually move back a little bit. And here you go, just like that. Hopefully this is helpful, and yeah, there you go.